Not my baby hairs, bro, being chaotic. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Izzy for those of you guys that are new here, and today I have for you a small kind of book haul. I've got about 8 books to show you guys in total, and my partner and I recently went to go check out a new not new bookstore, but new to us bookstore. This one was called Copperfield Books, and I believe the location we went to was the one that's in San Rafael. And it was really cute, I have to say, actually. I wanted to film in there, but I ended up not filming in there because it was kind of busier and we weren't anticipating that it was going to be super busy in there because it was a little bit earlier in the day and it was a weekday, but they were helping quite a few customers and I didn't really feel comfortable filming in there because I didn't, people were going up and down the aisles and it was kind of crowded, so. And overall, I think the store was really cute and well set up. The only thing I would say is about their selection. Now, they did have a pretty big variety in books. There were, sections on different topics, different genres, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they also had like different language books and stuff in there, similar to like a Barnes & Noble. And they also did have their own like membership where you could pay, I think it was $20 or $25 and you get 10% off, similar to Barnes & Noble as well. But even though they had a bigger variety of books like a Barnes & Noble would, the actual books within each section seemed pretty limited. So I think overall I rated that bookstore maybe like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Still cute. I definitely would recommend checking it out. Also, they carried other things like bookmarks, tote bags, mugs, like all kinds of stuff, journaling things, and so all of that stuff was really, really, really cute and very well curated, I will say. But again, the only downside for me is the variety in terms of within a genre. But other than that, I had a lot of fun. I think my partner also really had a lot of fun, and yeah, don't really have any other complaints. So, all right, let's get into the book haul. So while we were there, we ended up picking up only 2 books, and I looked for the other one and I cannot find it, but I will put a picture of it up here if I can figure out what book it was because my partner picked that one. The book I ended up picking up is The Last Telephone Booth at the Edge of the World, and this is by Laura Amai Messina. And initially what drew me to this cover was the cherry blossoms, but as I was reading the back, I noticed that this is set in Japan, and also at the end of the little description, I'll just read it to you. It says, inspired by true events, Laura Amai Messina's international best-selling novel, The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World, is an unforgettable story about the depths of grief, the lightness of love, and the human desire to keep those no longer with us close to our hearts. And I thought that was really interesting because I'm kind of unsure. Based on the description on the back, it sort of seems like this telephone booth is a little bit of a lifeline in terms of being able to connect with lost loved ones. Now, it doesn't specify if this is like a before the coffee gets cold situation where it's kind of like enchanted, because it doesn't clarify whether or not the lost loved ones are deceased or if they were merely separated by like this big tsunami that hits this part of the world. And I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of Before the Coffee Gets Cold, so that's kind of why I was curious about it, not only for the cover but also just for the plot. The next book I ended up picking up is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, and I tried taking the sticker off because you know how like Target always puts those ugly 20% off stickers on the cover. Well, I ended up trying to take it off and it didn't rip the cover. This is just like leftover residue, but it's driving me bonkers. So if any of you guys know how to get the rest of this off without damaging the cover, sound sound off in the comments, because I don't, yeah, whatever. You know what? I'm not gonna complain, because at least they didn't print it on the cover. I don't know why publishers do that, but it drives me literally insane. It makes me so angry. Whatever. It is what it is. I am not entirely familiar with whatever this series is about, but I know that Sarah J Maas is extremely popular here on BookTube, and also like on Book Talk, Bookstagram. Pretty much, if you read books, I'm sure you've heard of this before. I also have the first book in the ACOTAR series. I still have not read that one either. I am trying my best to finish up the book that I'm currently reading so that I can start either this series or that series. But I saw this one there and I picked it up. And to be fair, the reason that I think I really kind of went in and picked this one up is because a lot of the Targets, I live in San Francisco, so there are a lot of Targets near us, but a lot of the ones that we go to, I've noticed, have pretty much the entire rest of this series, but like none of the Targets near me have the first book. And so we happened to be in a different Target than the one we typically shop at, and I noticed that they had this one, so of course I had to snag it. All right, so this book, as you can probably tell, is The Perfect Marriage, and this is by Geneva Rose. And I don't particularly remember what this one is about. I think this one is about a couple who goes on like vacation or something, and I want to say it's the husband's mistress. Yeah, like the husband's mistress ends up dying, and they think that the main protagonist's husband may have committed the murder, and so the wife, who happens to be a defense attorney, takes his case and defends her own husband, and we're supposed to read and essentially find out whether or not the husband did end up committing that murder or not. I think it sounds interesting. It's a mystery thriller. I've heard a lot about this. Well, I've heard a lot of good things about this as well. The next three I'm just going to show you together because they're all by the same author. And these are The Fear, The Lake, and The Island. And these are by Natasha Preston. So I truly don't know what any one of these is about. I know that these are also, I think, in the YA mystery thriller category. And I think they may be able to stand as standalones. I don't think this is particularly a series. Correct me if I'm wrong. But these, I always see them in the Target that we typically go to. And I have been eyeing these for so long because I really, really like the covers. Like, here's The Fear. Here's The Lake. And here is the cover for The Island. And I don't know, I just think these are really, really beautiful covers, and at least in my opinion. And again, I have seen them there for so long. The next book I have to show you is The Mary Shelley Club, and this is by Goldie Moldavsky. This follows our lead protagonist, Rachel, and she is a new student, I think, from this preparatory school in Manchester. And she gets caught up in an incident that draws the attention of the Mary Shelley Club, which is essentially this club that pulls pretty elaborate pranks. But as the book goes on, the pranks begin to escalate, and somebody, I think, actually ends up dying. And so Rachel is tasked with figuring out who the killer is. And I thought this sounded pretty interesting. This initially was not on my radar. When we went to Barnes & Noble, this was not one of the books that I was planning on picking up. But I've mentioned this before, but at least here in my area, Barnes & Noble tends to do this thing where they'll have a book in the cafe area, and so long as you're purchasing something from the cafe, you kind of get like a discount. I want to say like $5 off or something like that for whatever book they've selected for the month. And this is the one that they picked for this round, and because I am a big fan of Mary Shelley, I thought that this sounded really interesting. And also, I gotta say, I do like the cover, and I'm a sucker for a good cover, as we all know. So I liked that the font was in red because it kind of made me think of blood. And then also from what it appears, there's like a hand here, and I don't know if that's somebody trying to choke her or what's going on there, but certainly seems spooky enough. So moving on. The last book that I have to show you guys in this haul is one that I already knew was coming because it is none other than my book of the month pick. And this is The Only Survivors, and this is by Megan Miranda. I do have another book by Megan Miranda. As a matter of fact, I think, yeah, it's like right there. I'm not gonna grab it, but it is All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. I have not yet read that one, but I've heard a lot of good things about this author. And again, I don't know, are you sensing a theme this month, guys, that I'm like really picking up a lot of mysteries, thrillers, like, I don't know. Your girl's in a mystery thriller mood this month, I guess. So anyways, I picked this one up this month. I gotta say, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but for some reason, the April book of the month picks, for me at least, were not really hitting, but I really did think this one sounds interesting, and I'm gonna open this up for you guys a little bit. And basically it says 7 hours in the past, 7 days in the present, 7 survivors remaining. Who would you save? And then it, you know, it has the rest of the description there, which I'm not going to read for you guys, but I don't know. I think that is the portion of the blurb that they had selected and written down in the, you know, description for this. You guys, I don't know what's going on with my brain. It's not braining. Anyway, so I think that little blurb is what they had put on the website for book of the month, and I thought that was really intriguing, so that's why I ended up going with this one. And I gotta say, again, I'm a sucker for a good cover, and I don't know why, but that like sunset for me was really doing it as well. So I liked that, and I picked that one. I've got to say, of all the books I've picked up recently, I think the one I'm most excited for is definitely Throne of Glass. For some reason, I feel like that series is calling me a little bit more than ACOTAR, and I don't know if y'all are gonna get pressed about that, who knows, but I think I may end up reading Throne of Glass before ACOTAR. I don't know if that's like recommended or not. As far as I know, they are 2 standalone series, so I think it would be okay, but I just feel more interested, I think, in the Throne of Glass series than I do in the ACOTAR series, at least for right now. But let me know down in the comments which of the books I've picked and showed today would you be most excited to read first. I'd really like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!